I have returned from my first regionals. However, that's not what we're talking about today. Today we're discussing Scarlet and Violet, and the fact that the game has been pretty dry for the last several weeks because we have had no new Terra Raid events going on in the game, and other than the introduction of Pokemon Home, there has been nothing new going on. But that could change really quickly because I believe we can safely guess the release date for the first DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet based off of information we have already and new information that has arrived over the last couple days. So let's break this down real quick, take a look, and see if we can figure out exactly when we're going to be getting the first set of DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Let's get to it. Now, up to this point, we were missing one key piece of the puzzle to be able to guess when DLC would be coming out for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and that arrived just a few days ago with the announcement of Regulation D for Pokemon VGC, the competitive side of Pokemon, for those of you that aren't familiar with it. Regulation D officially announced that all non-restricted Pokemon from Pokemon Home would be eligible to be used in Pokemon VGC, starting on July 1st and ending on September 30th. And for those of you that don't play VGC, that's probably not a huge deal, but for those of you waiting for DLC, those dates actually matter quite a bit. And let me tell you why. For starters, we know that when the DLC was announced way back at the Pokemon Presents at the, end of February, that we were getting DLC in two parts, much like we did with Sword and Shield, with the first part becoming available in fall of 2023, and the second half of the DLC being available in winter of 2023. So, both DLCs being available before the end of the year. But other than that, we were given pretty much nothing else. We were given a couple still images, some introduction of some new Pokemon, and that was pretty much it. That's all the information we had, but now that we have the announcement of Regulation D, things start to line up a little bit more. Because now that we know that Regulation D ends on September 30th, we know that the Pokemon Company is going to have to announce a new regulation before that so that people can start preparing for that. You can't just say, hey, here's Regulation D, and then have nothing prepared for afterwards. And based off how things worked with Sword and Shield, we can pretty safely assume that after Regulation D, we're going to be getting DLC 1, which is going to allow the use of DLC 1 Pokemon in the VGC format, meaning that DLC has to come out before the next regulation does. So, odds are we're going to be getting the first DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet before the end of September, which is huge news. But I think we can take this a step further. If I had to guess, I'd say that we're probably going to get DLC sometime around September 15th, as that gives the VGC players about 2 weeks or so to gather up Pokemon and figure out what good strategies are going to be. However, we do know some more information. We know that there is a Pokemon Presents scheduled for sometime in August of this year, but it wouldn't make any sense for them to wait to give us a trailer for the DLC in August. So, I mean, they wouldn't want to give us a trailer like 3 weeks before the DLC comes out. We do know, however, that there is information for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet slated to come out sometime in the month of June, meaning sometime in the next couple weeks before the beginning of July, we will probably get the trailer for the first DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Now, of course, with all of that being said, this is just speculation, but everything does kind of line up perfectly. We got the announcement back in February saying that DLC was coming in the fall. We get the announcement now that Regulation D runs until the end of September, which would technically be the beginning of the fall season, and we know that they'll need a new regulation after that, and there's not really anything else to add in now that Pokemon Home has been added to the game. That's pretty much it. So, like I said, I would expect to see DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet sometime around September 15th or possibly the week after. I would expect to see a trailer for the first set of DLC sometime this month, and I would assume that in July we'll probably get a trailer for the second DLC that comes out in the winter. But it's all just speculation at this point. However, it all lines up pretty well. So let me know what you guys' thoughts are down in the comments below. If you think we're going to get DLC in September, if you think they're going to wait later than that. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.